On this episode, today is maybe one last chance to not have this family be buried.
Got kicked out the house.
Do you know what you did to get kicked out?
I don't.
Giving me an attitude, laughed in my face.
That led to your stepson not being in your home for a year and a half. You remember this guy? There's a lot on the line here. We've got to fix this thing today. I'm Ed Mylett. I'm an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and a life coach with one goal: to change people's lives. Wow, thank you. Thank you. So glad you're all here today. So, Bruce is a veteran previously serving in the United States Navy. He's a good husband and has been a stepfather to his wife's kids for over 8 years. Recently, though, there's been a power struggle with his 16-year-old stepson who's moved out of the house. Bruce is trying to put the most important thing in his entire life, his family, back together. Let's take a look at his submission video.
Hey, what's up, Ed? This is Bruce out of Stockton, California. I'm 42 years old, married to my beautiful wife, Coley, for the past 8 years. We have 2 stepkids together, Lolly and Ezra. Haven't spoken to the kids in about a year and a half. And I know it pains my wife to be stuck in the middle of all this. At the end of the day, you know, it really just comes down to having that strong family foundation. I need that. Just reaching out to get your help. And I appreciate everything that you do, man.
So, good to have you here, Bruce.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Welcome, brother. So it's been a year and a half since you've seen or spoken to your stepson.
Just spoken to him.
Just spoken to him.
Yeah. It's been tough, so.
Yeah. What happened?
You know, asked him to help me out around the house and, you know, half effort and pretty much just, you know, giving me an attitude the whole time. And the day after, my wife and I sat down and, you know, spoke to him. He sat across the room and just like laughed in my face. The disrespect thing just really got to me.
You felt really disrespected.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Was that the first time or had it been building up for a while?
It was kind of building up. You know, nothing too bad, you know, little things here and there.
So normal stuff, but till this one incident.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And prior to that, even the normal incidents, like when he was a young boy, I mean, because you've been there 8 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so was it a loving and really good relationship you guys had initially?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you know, in the very beginning, both kids were great. Definitely some great memories.
So things took a turn. How's it affected everybody in the family since this has happened?
Well, you know, starting off with my wife, it's hard for her to choose sides. I totally get it, but you know, she's hurting. I'm sure the kids are hurting.
Yeah, and you're hurting. I can see it.
Yeah,
it's hurting you a great deal.
Yeah.
Did it lead to something where you just said, "Hey, I don't want you back in the house," or did he not want to come back in the house? What happened?
No, I think he did wanted to come back, but I didn't cool off yet.
You hadn't cooled off.
And Lolly, she reached out or tried reaching out a couple times, like trying to talk to me like at a wedding or, you know, at a public event. Like for some of the stuff that's happened, you know, I didn't feel that was right.
Okay, so to be clear, so she tried to approach you. Your daughter tried to approach you at a public thing, and you sort of said, "I'm not talking to you."
Yeah, I just wasn't.
What's your intuition tell you about that?
I was probably a little too rough.
You're a serious guy. You're also a good dude. You're probably not the easiest at expressing emotion right away, but I have a feeling it's welling up inside there right now. That's what I can feel from you. But the incident, as I understand it, was basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, you asked him to take the trash out, which I've asked my teenage son to do, I don't know, 732 times. And then that ended up leading eventually, I'm sure that was the breaking point. That led to your stepson not being in your home for a year and a half. Is that a pretty close to accurate summary?
Yeah.
So when you hear that back,
yeah, it sounds ridiculous.
Well, I don't know that it sounds. I wouldn't go to the extreme of sounding ridiculous. It sounds extreme.
Yeah.
And you strike me as maybe a pretty extreme guy. I bet you're pretty extreme in your discipline, extreme in your standards for yourself too. I could just tell from looking at you, you know, that you're really really serious guy. But when you hear that back, that's probably not good. Would you agree with that?
No, I agree.
Yeah. I just want you to consider a couple of things. You're the leader of that home. You're the leader of that home. And if we went back to even the military, there was some kind of a battle happening in the military, and a couple of the people in a troop weren't getting along. You don't leave a guy on the battlefield and leave him alone.
Never.
Never. Right? So, as a father, I think this is a never. I think this is a never again over a personal disagreement that we leave someone alone. And I understand that he didn't want to come back as well, but you're the father. You're the leader. And so I think that's an important thing for you to just really feel that right now. You would never do that in another setting, right? And this is essentially your son. It's essentially your son.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the love of your life in Coley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so we've got to fix this thing today. By the way, having teenagers is a zoo. And there's ups and downs. This is an art form and not a science.
Yeah.
There's no science to it.
Yeah.
But there are some principles. And the leader of the home, which is you and Coley, it has to be love first. Because when you truly have love in an environment, respect follows. But when you demand respect first, that's an ego thing. And when you have ego, you move love out of an environment. And then you're looking for people to be complicit based on rank. I'm the dad. This is my house. I pay the bills. I'm in charge. Fall in line. That works great in an artificial environment where you have rank in the military.
Yeah.
But in a family, those dynamics start getting wrestled for, especially with a young boy. Oh yeah, you're in charge, you're rank. Well, I'm coming into my manhood here too. And there becomes this respect argument that takes place. You're disrespected, he's disrespected, and we forget to say, I love you. I love you. It becomes a respect debate in which nobody wins, right? It's a fact. And what happens is when ego's involved, and by the way, I say this to you as a father who's made a bunch of mistakes. There's no judgment here. This is an assessment, not a judgment.
For sure.
And I think you know the difference. But once our ego gets involved, you disrespected me, I told you to do this, you laughed. If you're looking for respect first, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get disrespected. And what happens is then we dig into our position. Now we're dug in. And we dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And Ezra digs in deeper and deeper and deeper. And you know what you end up doing? You end up burying your family. And I think today is maybe one last chance to not have this family be buried. Is that what you want? Do you want to try to get a relationship back with Ezra?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
But are you even willing to go to the point of saying, hey, listen, please forgive me. I love you. And I haven't done everything perfect. Makes me emotional for you. I haven't done anything perfect. And neither of you. But I love you. Are you willing to tell him that today?
I'm willing to tell him, yeah.
Good. I hope you are, man. I can feel it from you. I can feel it from you. Think I should talk to Ezra? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get a chance to visit with Ezra for a few minutes, too.
Sure.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Good.
I think it was just a misunderstanding.
You were locked out of the house.
That's when I knew that I got kicked out the house.
Upset you pretty strong, huh? Do you want to try to fix things? We're here with Ezra. So, tell us a little bit about your relationship with your stepdad, Bruce.
At the moment, I don't have one with him. Yeah.
You don't
Because
have
of-
one? Yeah. Prior to this thing going south, did you have one?
Yeah, I did have one. I had a good relationship with him. We did some stuff together. Not too much, but it was cool. It was a good relationship.
It was a good relationship.
Yeah.
Do you think he loves you?
I don't know. I don't know if he does or not.
Did you prior think that he loved you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay. And so what happened? Like, where'd this thing go bad? I got you. You're good. Do you know what you did to get kicked out?
I don't.
You don't know. Okay.
I think it was just all just a misunderstanding that went really south that, caused me to leave them. I had went to bed early and he asked me to take out the trash and I didn't answer his text because I was asleep. And the next day he didn't say anything to me and I come home, I get back home with him and he asked to see my phone. And so I give him my phone and he's just scrolling. I don't know what he's doing. I'm sitting across from him and he gives like a deep sigh and then hands me my phone back. And I asked him like, what happened? He was like, nothing. Like, you just didn't see my text. And I was like confused. I was like, what text? And so I went on and I realized that he had asked me to take out the trash.
Okay. So
then,
he kind of just lost it over that one. Upset you pretty strong, huh? Yeah. Think your mom's hurting over it too?
Yeah.
There you go. I got you taken care of, brother. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to try to fix things?
I do, just because I don't really want my mom hurting. She's dealt with a lot in her life and I just want to make her life better.
Yeah. Hey, Ezra, give Ezra a round of applause, man. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. For a young man your age to have that kind of maturity, that's a big deal, brother. You're a good dude.
Thank you.
You're a good, look at me. You're a good dude. I can feel it from you, brother. So something happened, though, where you were going to go back, whatever took place, take the trash out, didn't take it out. Did you try to go back? Did you try to get back in the house and then it didn't happen? Or did you never even make an effort to come back?
I did try to go back to the house the next day after school. So before school, me and my mom had got into it in the car because of that. And I told her not to pick me up from school because they were both acting weird towards me. Bruce was giving me the silent treatment, and my mom just got mad at me for, I don't know, like we were cool the day before, and in the morning, she was completely mad at me. I don't know what happened at night, but it hurt. She just changed towards me.
She changed. But you got home from school, though. Did you tried to come back and, like, you couldn't get in the house?
Yeah, so I had walked home from school, and I was expecting, to go in the house and at least try to talk things out like my mom wanted us to have before. And I tried to do the door lock, and the numbers weren't, like, working. And so I knew the keypad had been turned off. And then I went to the garage and I put the code in and it didn't open. And so that's when I knew that I got kicked out the house.
How sure are you that the code was changed or that the code just wasn't working that day? You feel like the locks were changed, like you were locked out of the house?
Yeah, because it's never happened. Everything was all good. Like nothing ever messed up with those doors or the codes or anything.
Okay.
So.
But that was a year and a half ago. Now, be real with me for a minute. By the way, I was actually 16 years old. I know what that's like, right? And I know we kind of get a little, we can be a little disrespectful. We can get a little smart-mouthed.
Yeah.
We can get a little, hey, not following through on my end. Part of that's being your age. Was there a little bit of that going on leading up to this where maybe you were getting a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Was there a little of that?
Yeah, there was. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really like doing chores, so.
There we go.
I didn't really follow up on my chores like that.
Had you missed some other text messages in the past?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay, I don't laugh at that like to make light of it. I laugh about it because I relate to it. My point in asking you that, though, is in every situation I've found in life, there's someone's version of it, there's the other person's version of it, and then there's actually the truth somewhere in between, right? And so I always think there's a little bit leading up to it. Also, I think this is a great early life lesson for you. And one of them is that human beings aren't perfect. Relationships aren't perfect. Heck, I give advice to people on how to be in relationships, and I still screw them up sometimes myself. I say the wrong thing or I do the wrong thing. I think the most important part of it is not to dig in so deep into our positions where we find ourselves a year and a half later in life, right? The other thing too, you know, you can always get something out of having a disciplined leader like Bruce. And you know what, in life, we don't always get to choose how people talk to us. You're going to have a coach or a boss in your life speak to you in ways that aren't very pleasant to the ears. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And sometimes in life, we don't get to choose how we get our coaching all the time. Sometimes we have to just take our coaching. Having said that, I really believe in your home. I met Bruce. Man loves you. And you know that? Let me tell you, man, you give a guy credit. Many, many years ago, when him and your mom got together, he was willing to care for you and to provide and to pick you up from school and to do other things. And a lot of men aren't willing to do that. And there's something to be said for that. My dad died last year. And I had in and outs with my dad. My dad was a drinker. On and off there for a little while when I was young. I was actually holding my dad's hand. Grab my hand. I was holding my dad's hand when he died, just like this, holding my father's hand. You imagine if my dad passed away and we were not talking at all. How much that would break my heart, but my mom's heart. Not to have a relationship with my dad at the end. I'm so glad that I did. So I'd really love to talk with you and Bruce together if you're willing to do it.
Yeah.
Are you? Okay, good. Let's do that then. Bruce, come on back out here and join us, brother. You remember this guy? I don't think apologizing is very easy for Bruce.
Sorry's not gonna help.
You remember this guy?
Yep.
Yeah. You remember that guy? You can look at each other. It's okay. It's allowed to look at each other. Listen, I've had a talk with both of you, and it sounds like this incident that the two of you have had together that's lasted this year and a half has really hurt both of you very deeply and obviously hurt Coley as well. And I thought, you know, before we had Coley come out, I thought it was best to have the two of you just visit for a minute or so here. You know, for both of you, this is going to be one of the most important 5 or 10 minutes that you're going to spend together in your lives. There's a lot on the line here. And all I want you to do before we talk is I just want you to put pride and ego aside, just for now. For now. You can always have pride and ego the rest of your life. But for right now, this is about trying to put your family back together. So, Bruce, is there anything to start out? You know, I want to be the facilitator of this. Anything to start out that you would just say to Ezra about how you're feeling about things now, today? You've had a chance to reflect on it after talking with me. And Ezra, at least give him the respect of, you know, paying attention to what he has to say. Let's hear him. What would you say, Bruce?
I know Ezra's like one of his love languages is touch. So
There you go. Good. Good.
it's been tough, man. So
Okay. We got you. Give him a hug.
Sorry, man.
sorry.
Good, brother. It's beautiful. So, Bruce, by the way, thank you for doing that, both of you, on behalf of your family. But, Bruce, what would you want to tell Ezra about how you're feeling about where things are now and how you feel about him after having a chance to reflect on things and think about it?
We've both made mistakes. We've, I think we've all felt a level of pain that we don't need to feel anymore. I mean, you know, I apologize, man. I really am, man.
That's beautiful, Bruce. How you feel about that, Ezra? You feel like that's a good new beginning? Feel like there's a bridge open at least that you can start to try to walk across?
Somewhat. I mean, sorry's not gonna help, you know, right now, just because of everything that's happened. But, you know, I hope we can fix things between each other.
We're going to continue to fix them even while you're here today. We got a little bit more to fix. But I think the first step is, you know, some people are really easy to apologize. Ezra, hey, sorry. It's because they don't mean it. Yeah, I got friends of mine all the time are constantly apologizing for stuff they continue to do over and over and over again, right? Someone like Bruce, I don't think apologizing is very easy for Bruce. I don't think it's very easy. I think that's a major step for him to look at you and tell you that he's sorry. And in your case, I'm curious, you know, there starts with an apology. Would it begin to be that you're back around the house a little bit more and you see the two of you are interacting differently? What would it take for you to begin to feel like this relationship can be even better than it once was? I don't even want it to be what it was. I want it to even be better. What do you think it would take from both of you?
Well, don't know, probably like for a start, I would honestly, you know, when I see my mom, I would like to be able to come inside,
Yeah.
you know, because when I visit my mom, I can't go inside. I have to be outside, and I only really talk to her for like 5 minutes.
Do you want him inside the house now, Bruce?
Yeah, no, I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want you to be super cool with it. I want you to feel like when you walk in that place that that's your home again, slowly but surely, that you can walk in that place. And I think there's a third element that's going to pull this thing together. Do you feel like it'd be good if we added maybe the person that you both love the most in the mix here and bring Coley out here just to visit with us as well? Do you feel good about that? You feel good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be right back with this family to give them the tools they need to start to heal.
It's draining. This is too much. It's too much for me to bear. I have to remove myself from the equation.
You are the fire. Get off my stage.
We've moved the needle a little bit here. We've made some progress. And so how do you feel about things?
It's draining,
Yeah.
you know, being put in the middle and, you know,
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And, you know, wanting to be a good supportive wife to my husband, but also be a supportive mother to both the kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying to navigate that has been very stressful. And, you know, there has been tension. It has put a strain on our marriage, and, you know, it was affecting the relationship with the kids. And there was a point where I was like, you know what, this is too much. It's too much for me to bear. So I have to remove myself from the equation and try to at least allow them to come together and try to fix it on their own.
Yeah.
But then look at how long it's
It's taken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your daughter's here, who, by the way, is equally beautiful to the rest of your family.
Thank you.
And is it taking a toll on you as well?
Yes,
Yeah,
a lot.
a lot. Yeah. Would you like to see things get put back together here if we could do it?
Most definitely.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. You know what's really interesting about this is you step back, there's been this 1.5 year huge thing. You would actually think something really terrible took place here. This is this is why this is absolutely very easily repairable.
Yeah.
Nothing traumatic took place in the incident. It's post the incident with everyone digging into their positions. On a 1 to 10, this was a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
It was probably brewing for a year or so before that made it a 3 or a 4, but this has turned into a 10. People who love each other. Pride and ego has to go away. And the sooner you say it, the easier it is to say, by the way. The sooner you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. It's easier to say. The longer it goes, the bigger it gets. It's a harder forgive me. It's a harder one. So we need to start a bridge here today. You, by the way, young man, are a courageous, really strong young man. Is there anything you would want to say to your mom while she's here about all of this or about anything in general? You want to express to your mom?
I just want to say sorry for... Yeah, I'm sorry for everything, you know. Fighting with him, not going to school, not passing school. Just, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Good boy. Yeah. Yeah. All right, couple things. You need to be held accountable, Ezra, to get some stuff straight in your life. And for this time, just for now, because we want to keep this thing really loving and clean, I want that to be with me. So you and I are going to build a little friendship, and I'm going to help you start to get this stuff together and the things you want to do better with school and these other things in your life. Would you want to have a little bit of that with me? Yes?
Yes.
And what you're going to get from this man right here is love. Love and an example. From me, I'm going to work you a little bit.
All right.
Okay? I'll work you a little bit. What you're going to get from this man is love. So I'm going to ask a favor if you'll join too as well, just so everyone sees what a dadgum gorgeous family this is right here, right? Look at this family. What is your name?
Lolly.
Lolly?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Lolly, everybody. So welcome to the party over here, Lolly. Thank you for being here. Would you guys do me a favor? And I know this is major, but I want you to do it. And then when you're there, if it goes bad, you can all yell at me that night, because you and I are going to start talking. I'd like you guys to have dinner together as a family. I think that that's a tradition in different cultures. I just think it would be great to just have a meal as a family where we're just back together again and there's some love in a room. So would you guys be willing to do that? Bruce, would you be willing to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are you willing to do that? Mm-hmm. Are you? Okay. Mama, are you cool with that?
Oh, yeah, I like to eat.
Yeah, you like to eat? Okay, cool. Okay. And are you good with that, Ezra?
Yeah.
So I not only want you in that home, I want you over there celebrating with your family, and I want you to have a beautiful meal, and I want that to be the beginning of putting this thing back together. Very slowly, one step at a time. What we do is we start with small things in life, brother. And I think today was a huge step. We've already done the hard part. And now it's a matter of earning it both ways, right? That there starts to be some more different water under the bridge. And this is more beautiful water that starts to flow under the bridge where we just share some memories, okay? And from now on, when something comes up, the first thing we need to be thinking about is, forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you. Forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you. Love over respect.
Yeah.
And I really believe this discipline Bruce was trying to give you was actually for the right reason. He wanted to see a strong young man grow up like he grew up, and he kind of gave you a little bit of what he's got. Times are a little different now. This isn't the military. This is a family, and I think that's kind of dawning on Bruce now, but it came from love. I can promise you that it came from love. So our marching orders for today, you guys willing to accept my recommendation for change?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a really simple recommendation for change, is that we love one another, we forgive one another, and we apologize when we make a mistake. And it's going to start with this dinner, and I'm going to have you guys message me from that dinner. I want a video from you at that dinner. Man, just make my day, Ezra, and go, I'm right here with Bruce. I can't believe this, but we're having dinner, and it looks like he's an okay dude again. Okay, can you give me one of those?
Just like that.
Okay, right. All right, guys, thank you. Hey, stand up for a minute. I want to tell you something. I'm super proud of you. You're an impressive dude.
We got the mac and cheese, some short ribs, and we got Ezra in the building!
All right, so I love taking questions from the audience, and this one personally really hits home for me. It says, Ed, how do you deal with the wide array of emotions that comes along with having a family member who is an addict? My brother has struggled for years with addiction, and my emotions range from guilt, anger, frustration, sadness, and everything in between. Boy, do I relate to that. I can tell you that right now. As a child of an alcoholic, I know exactly what that feels like. There's something I want you to learn more about called equanimity. And I write about it in my book, but I have a whole chapter on this concept called equanimity. Equanimity is really learning how to have calmness and peace under duress. That's what the word actually means. And so when you have a loved one who's an alcoholic or a drug addict, you are constantly yourself feeling their duress. Are they going to show up on time? Are they going to die tonight? Are they going to be in a car accident? Are they going to OD? Are they going to hurt themselves or somebody else? And so what you have to learn to do is to separate from outcome. And so I've learned in my life with people that are in those situations, I love them, but I don't make their behavior in any way conditional on my emotions. They are not going to control my emotions with their behavior. And I do that through a process called equanimity, which means I get up every single day for those people and I start my day in prayer for them. I pray for their blessing. I pray for their peace. I pray for their safety. No matter what your faith belief systems are, whether you meditate, you're a Christian, a Muslim, Jewish, whatever it might be, I think you have to give that up over to God or to the universe or whatever it is you believe in, and you need to focus on your own equanimity. You have to live your life. You have to live your dreams. And you being emotionally attached to the behaviors of somebody who's that erratic, who's that up and down, will destroy your life. So I say love them, pray for them, and separate from outcome and focus on your personal equanimity all the time.